Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Black Clover episode 25. And I do gotta say that this episode was definitely a lot better than last week's episode. Although, considering that the last week's episode in general definitely wasn't the greatest in terms of animation, I guess I suppose that isn't really even a high bar to really go off of, to be honest with you. Now, talking about this episode, though, I have to say that one thing I really enjoyed about it was pretty much was that okay, in terms of progression, in terms of what was going on, there wasn't a whole lot. It was just them pretty much dealing with pretty much they was dealing with a lot of the end game of this whole invasion of the capital. But I definitely feel that compared to last week's episode, this one had a lot more character moments. A lot of moments that made me say, "Yes, I'm really glad that happened for that character. I'm glad that happened for that character." I was just excited to see all these characters just get these individual moments to shine almost in a way. So and and of course to start off with the one character who immediately set me on that path of thinking that way was Charmy. Like, okay, first thing I learned in this episode: do not fuck with Charmy when it comes to food. Seriously, the whole thing with her going from it was chibi to from her basically chibi form to her normal form. That shit was pretty much already scary enough as it was, but her magic. Charmy actually made a cuddly little sheep look terrifying. Like pretty much that like that whole scene of her summoning that sheep construct in order to punch Charlotte, in order to punch the witch, Charlotte, sorry, not Charlotte, it was Catherine. In order to punch the witch Catherine, like that, like she actually managed to make a cuddly little sheep turn into a terrifying demon, like. Yeah, like I was legit like it was funny. Don't get me wrong, but it was also terrifying when you just look at the design of that sheep construct, and yeah, and also to quote a great philosopher, "Youth ages, immaturity is outgrown, ignorance can be educated, and drunkenness sobered, but stupidity lasts forever." And you don't get much more stupid than Catherine. Like again, I'm assuming I'm assuming Catherine was never really taught the golden rule, which is whether intentional or not, never mess with anyone who basically has an enormous appetite. They will wreck you. And Catherine, if you need any more proof of that, I'd like to point you in the direction of another anime, Naruto, and another character, Shoji Akamichi. Do not mess with that guy's food. Do not mess with Charmy's food. That's all I'm saying. You will get fucked up and wrecked, dude. You will get fucked up and wrecked, girl. You will get fucked up and wrecked, bitch. I'm just telling you. But yeah, and honestly, like overall, I just loved the moments. I just loved all the spotlight on Charmy. Like it was funny, but it just kind of it really gave us a window into who she is as a character, and just how strong she is in her type of magic. And yeah, I really love it. Although I'm not so keen on on her little I know again it was a food related joke, but her little crush on Yuno kind of creeped me out. Like again, I know it was only because she pretty much brought her food, only because he inevitably brought her food. But it's like, yeah, Yuno's I don't know how old you are, Charmy, but I think Yuno's a little too old for you. But yeah, so so fue go Ian got beat pretty badly in this episode. And if there's one thing I had to say about Promotions about seeing him being defeated in general, is that I'm a little disappointed it happened off screen because I really wanted to see what kind of magic he faced, especially since said magic was able to basically sever his arm from his body. Although I will say, as a manga reader, it makes a lot more sense looking back as to who did it. Like I won't, and like I said, I won't ruin the reveal for people, but let's just say it, if it pretty much is who if pretty much if the culprit who dissected his arm is who I think it is, then yeah, everything does make a lot more sense. And on looking back who did it, because if I again I'm a manga reader, so I think I know who, but yeah, it all makes sense now. And as for once the reveal itself happens, I won't. I'm not gonna say is I'm. It's not like the reveal itself is not necessarily gonna be like an oh my god shocking reveal, but the reveal will definitely be shocking in a sense where or if you really if you look back on the whole series on where the series is led up to, it does kind of add up a bit. So yeah, and I definitely want to shout out to I want to shout out to someone who I want to shout out to someone who pretty much commented on my last video, and on a person who commented on my last video. Her name is Kimberly Campbell, who told me that apparently, like I complained a lot about the art and animation in last week's episode, but apparently a fellow YouTuber, Kimberly Campbell, she said that the reason for the inconsistent animation right now is that Piero is pretty much severe. Like everything about their budget, from what I understand, is fine, but Piero themselves are severely understaffed, and apparently they're supposed to get a whole new batch of animators soon who were working on the Fate anime. I'm I, it's one of those things where I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but fingers crossed it happens soon, because I like this episode was definitely better than the last, but it's like hopefully it happens soon. And if these guys worked on the Fate anime, then that makes me more excited, because then we're more than likely in for some high quality or for some high quality art and animation going forward. Hopefully, like I said, it's fingers crossed, but if it all pans out hopefully the way I think it will, then let's hope. Although it is weird, because from what I also hear, the Fate anime ended in December, so I don't know what is taking them so long. But I suppose we'll just hope. I just hope that we end up getting that we get some new animators on the Black Clover anime soon. Because if that happens, then even at the slowest episode, even with the slowest episode, if they can make it look good, then it'll still be appealing to look at, even the slowest episode, of course. And speaking of pacing, let's talk about that too. Apparently, this one covered all the way up to chapter 33. This episode covered all the way up to chapter 33, which is only and we're only 3 chapters away from pretty much finishing this arc. So I want to assume that next episode is basically and assuming that they don't extend it too much, I want to assume the next episode is going to finish up this arc. And if that's the case, then if it should be interesting to see where pretty much the series goes after there. Because like I said before, they've kind of done a thing where, like I said before, this is Piero, so I'm still keeping them at arm's length, even with Tokyo Ghoul on the way. That it really all depends on what Piero does after this. I'm hoping that they actually keep themselves on the canon route for a bit. I'm hoping that, but considering it's 51 episodes, I can't be certain either. It's honestly Piero. Like I've lost a lot of faith in them, so at this point it's just where they decide to go from here. And I'll be honest. I'll be honest with this episode. The fights that involve Asta are usually the ones I'll be honest. Fights that involve Asta are not the ones that usually appeal to me. The ones that do appeal to me are the ones that involve the other characters. But like I said, there was something really entertaining about seeing Asta just beating on Rades while also preventing this other guy from helping him escape. And I think part of that of why I enjoyed that particular fight so much is just it was a straight up fist brawl. Although, and what's important to also take away is that it wasn't just Asta just beating on the guy. There was a small, you could see for a brief moment there was a small amount of development for him. Like it was basically like the one thing I did like is how Asti did use both of his swords in tandem with each other in order to battle one foe while also indirectly hindering the other. And like I said, while minuscule, it does show that Asta isn't repeating the same pattern. He is actually kind of developing as a character, just very slowly. Although I'm not sure what to think about. The only thing I'm not sure about is him negating the curse. I mean, I guess in a way it makes sense, but I think it would have been better if it was just kept if it kept that he if the sword's abilities were that he could only negate the magic only if you could see it. Like I think I remember that from the manga as well, and I remember having a problem with it too. Like seriously, I think it would have been better if I almost wanted that to be one of the things that they changed, but oh well. And in the end of the episode, we see a hooded group surrounding Asta and the others who are about to take them out. And I'm curious how things are going to go from here, because if I remember correctly, I think the current situation that's facing, like, I'm pretty sure with the whole thing of Golian's arm being chopped off. I remember and him being like in an unconscious mode. I think that and the whole current situation in general. I think that happened earlier here than it did in the manga. So I think like I said, they'll probably extend the episode out a bit, which I'm worried might add a little bit less credibility to the group that they'll be facing. Because this and another thing with this episode is that with this introduction, we are kind of we are working into the parts of the story where Black Clover begins to kind of branch off its own thing and does start to separate itself a little more. So, yeah, just here's hoping that things get better from this point on. But yeah, guys, that's my review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Knight of Anime. Signing off. Later, guys.